The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Hey, just a few words on the fires in Maui. First of all, to the families, the people that are affected out there, my prayers are with you. We meet, as I say on this program often, we meet in determined prayer, you and I. And now more than ever, we do meet with you from Hawaii to pray for you and with you, to meet you in prayer. We hope that these prayers and our messages of comfort have a peaceful, calming effect on you. I know that that's saying a lot, but we believe in prayer over here, and we're praying for you. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about what the cause of the fire may or may not be. We don't know exactly what the specific cause was. We do know there was a hurricane in the area, high winds, and a fire started. We also know that there was poor environmental policies put in place in Hawaii in general, Maui specifically, bad forestry, dead brush along the roadways and in the hill country and so forth. There are reports that the sirens didn't go off, water was cut off, police blocking. You know, we don't know the truth to any of that quite yet. The sirens we do know a piece about, and that is that they said they didn't sound these sirens because that is primarily for tsunamis, and that motivates people to go to the higher ground in the hill country, where there is more brush and more dead brush, bad forestry, bad environmental policies as a result of, and they didn't want people to go up to the hill country and get burned to death. So we will let the truth percolate to the top. We will let investigators look at it. We will have independent folks look at it. And you and I, being members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land, will take all of that in and we'll make our determination once we let all of this take its course. For people to go out, and this is just my opinion, and I'll try to be as gentle as I can, but people who immediately rush to these wild theories about weapons being used on purpose to start these fires, let's take a deep breath about that and walk in off the ledge of insanity and intellectual immaturity and look at and see what happened. We know that there was bad forestry management, dead brush. I'm going to show you a video of the hurricane fires with the winds in full force, blowing and igniting along the roadways where there is dead vegetation and fuel for fires. The same thing in the hill country and so forth. And the winds make these fires incredibly super hot that can melt metal and so forth. So there's a lot here to consider. And my friend Couy Griffin from Cowboys for Trump, love this guy. And, you know, I'm going to show you a couple of clips of him when he's in the hills of New Mexico. He's talking about Colorado, California in general, looking and showing you evidence of bad forestry practices, bad environmental practices and policies that lead to massive fires, power lines, bad electric power line management, etc., which was part of the reason what Maui got, what caused the tragedy in Maui. After the high winds, the power lines came down. There were trees nearby. They get caught in the trees. Fires start. The winds were incredible. Wait till you see the video clip from Maui here in just a moment, and pay particular attention to the commentary during the video, the words on the screen, and then Couy Griffin. Pay close attention to what he shows you, because this is probably in all likelihood what really happened in Maui and the reason for this terrifically sad and just awful, the worst wildfire I believe we've ever experienced in the United States. So let's take a look and just see. And let's stop, because it does really our side, our conservative side, no good to speculate about weapons. You know, in all likelihood, the only DEW out there was dangerously excessive winds, which caused this thing to just get out of control. We will talk about and let the truth about land grabs. I know that's going on out there. That's worth talking about. It's worth discovering. Is the governor talking about taking land to protect it from homeowners, or is he taking it with more, shall we say, nefarious reasons in mind? Let's look and see, but let's not jump to wild-ass speculation. Let's seek first the truth. And refuse to speculate and refuse to get people off on these incredibly bizarre, speculative pieces of clickbait, really, I think is what it boils down to. So take a close look. These videos combined aren't going to take you more than 5 minutes to look at. I'll be quiet. Let the videos speak for themselves. I just encourage everybody to seek the truth. Look, whatever the final, we have to be in this together. We have to seek the truth together, but we can't just speculate right from the get-go right from the very beginning about weapons and lasers or whatever you want to talk about. We've got to look at what really happened, and that takes time, folks. It takes time. So I have not purposefully responded about all of this until today, a week or two, 10 days after the fact, because I want to be sure the dust settles and that we get to the bottom of this. We still don't know what actually caused this fire. We do know there was a hurricane, the hurricane winds, the fire starts, and that fuels with this dead brush, the bad forestry, the bad environmental policies that are in place. It fuels the flames, makes them super hot, and it was tragic. And it remains something worthy of all of our prayers. And so, again, I will end where I began. Ladies and gentlemen of Maui, of Hawaii, anyone who is affected by this, we are going to meet you in determined prayer. Now, take a look at my friend Couy Griffin, explain the reason why these fires start, and then the video of Maui itself, and notice the commentary in that video that points out the things that Couy was talking about. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we are in this together. Let's find the truth and arrive at it united and determined that we will put an end to the commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat, grip on this republic and restore it to the intent of God and the founding fathers. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the republic. Cheers. Wildfires are caused by poor environmental policies, power lines, careless people, and arson. Wildfires are also intensified by high winds, inept forestry practices, dry conditions, and available fuel, including timber, shrubs, homes, etc., and they can melt metal.
That we had in Gavilan Canyon, the reason why that fire was started was because of trees blew into the power lines. This is the kind of stuff that's going on. Somebody's got this wire right here just tied back to this tree, which is affecting this whole line, the stability of the whole line, and the whole line is passing through trees. The problem that we're going to have very soon is the same one that we had just recently, and that's catastrophic and destructive wildfire. The Forest Service left this land after the thinning project. It all just looks like little old cut up trash laying everywhere. I can ride and ride and ride and show you hours and miles and acres of country that looks just exactly like this right here. This is the result of horrible environmental policy. They have no plan and no intention of coming in here and cleaning up all of the trees that they cut down. None of the brush was piled. The grass cannot grow. All this wood is just left to rot. It's a complete and total fire hazard. If a fire were to get going in here, it would burn at an unreal temperatures, and it would not burn naturally, because this is not what a natural forest looks like. This is what a environmental disaster looks like that the United States Forest Service created through all of their heretical environmental policy. If this wood was allowed to be gathered by the locals who live around this area, all of the wood that could be cut up into firewood would be cut up into firewood, and all the brush should be piled and burned. And then we would have green grass growing, we would have more elk, we would have more deer, we would have more cattle. Everything would prosper. And if we need laborers to do that, we have many federal inmates and state inmates sitting in our penitentiaries that are playing volleyball right now, when they could be out here piling brush and cleaning this forest up, that maybe they can enjoy when they get out of prison, or maybe that their kids can enjoy, or maybe the people that they victimized can come out here and enjoy it. Instead of giving our inmates Game Boys, we should give them a pair of work gloves and let them give back to the society in which they infringed upon the laws of.
good choice. Take on breath, guys.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Slowly do. Wait, let them go. Go. This is wild.
Oh, we're lying.
Baby, don't touch it, baby. Don't touch it.
How about the important passports and all that?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.